Hey Dal, I had to restart my phone. How you doing today? You getting the snow down there? Hey Blue Malbo, how you doing? Oh, just rain. Yeah, I didn't think this was going to happen. It was still not close to freezing it pretty late. Hey Blue Malbo, how you doing? Hey JP, how's it going? It's definitely super slow. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, we hadn't had any. There wasn't any in the U. Because of this weather, because it started to rain, and I got there at 4:30, and by 4:45 they're already doing some of the things. And I checked on the internet; it was supposed to be from 6 to 8, and most of it was all the way over by 6 o'clock when it was supposed to start. So I'm glad I got there early. It's pretty good. A lot of people came together. Headed out of there like 4:45. It was really raining hard on the way home. No place was open, hardly at all. Did she really, Jose? Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh, jeez. Sorry to hear that. That is sad. Has anybody else heard this about Sarah? Hey, 82. Yeah, she was happy. I opened the door and she sat there for a second looking out and then went out and ran around like a nut. She loves the snow. Yeah, me too. There's a guy doing donuts in an old Bronco over there. The snow's coming out of the northeast, believe it or not. Hey, Jay. Better believe it. Hey, Stephanie. Dolly, could you come up and get the bed today? Pretty good. Oh, good for you. Do you have any snow out there, Blue? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, this is super heavy and super wet. Oh, okay, yeah, cold. I bet it's freezing here. If I had to guess, maybe it's 30, because it's really not melting. But it's coming down so good, it's keeping the sun from melting it. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Anytime you get on the internet, you got every kook in the world coming out. Just take it with a grain of salt. They don't like Gerald because he's with Maddie and believes that she's there because of him, which is all false. Just a bunch of rumors starting, gossip mongers that love drama, who I block on a daily basis. Yeah, 32, that'd be about right. Yeah. Yeah, it's the first one we've got, Justin. They had one when I was out of town, but it's the first one that's, any good. Yeah, I stay away from the drama big time. And when I find someone trying to start it here, I can them and block them. I don't want any of that around. Absolutely not. You got to go up and hit. Are you blocking them from your channel? If you can block them from your channel, you can do it a bunch of ways. Like I could do it on the screen here. You can go up to About and click on one of the dots and block, or you can right click and it'll say hide user from this channel. There's a couple ways to do it. Maddie's the one that's with the black guy down in Southwest Detroit. They do a lot of lives. They just hit 10,000 subscribers. Actually, that's one of the top comments I delete. It's either about Maddie or Gerald. I probably delete 50, 60 a day. She's blonde, blue eyes, pretty girl, super personality. Yeah, yep. They have their own channel, actually. It's called Maddie, M-A-D-D-I-E, and Gerald, J-A-R-R-Y-L Owens, O-W-E-N-S. Hey, Gilbert, how you doing? Yeah, you can see there's nothing but there are people out there who their entire life revolves around drama, starting rumors, stalking people. They really get off doing it. The disappointing thing is it's quite a few adults. This isn't like some pissed off, jaded 17-year-old that boyfriend dumped her. It's adults. One of these old troublemakers on here, Elaine Peebles, she comes across as just a matronly old grandmother until she gets your emails and address, and before you know it, it's off to the races. You're getting all these crazy comments made, and you find out it's under a sock account. I think she's 62, 63 years old. She just retired from a job she had. And I see back around September, October, she pled guilty to harassment. So they finally nailed her. So if anybody's getting harassed by her crazy emails and they think it might be associated with her IP address, I could always put you in touch with the court system that prosecuted her the last time. There's a bunch of them that are going to be getting in trouble like that soon. I do block them. Yeah, she was, yep. I do block them. She says she was a corrections officer. You know, when you're that age and you're causing that kind of trouble, you got to wonder if any of it's true. Yeah, I mean, I try not to, you know. It's just not a cool way to run something. I mean, there's a lot I could say about a lot of people, but on the other side, I don't think it's fair to, you know, really say much about someone if they can't defend themselves. Now, what I just mentioned is a fact that's in a court record. That's different. This isn't an opinion. Yeah, there's some just really weird, strange people out there. What I wish YouTube would do, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's coming down the road soon. You know, they're changing things all the time, like the display, tabs on your channel, that kind of thing, is if they'd block by MAC address rather than IP address. With an IP address, you can block that, but that's just the trunk that comes into wherever you're doing your harassment. When you block by MAC address, that's a specific number coded for whatever device you're using to get on the internet, whether it's a phone, tablet, laptop, desktop. And when you start blocking those, it makes it much more effective, because what's somebody going to do? Go out and buy another phone, use their friend's phone to harass you? And I don't know what's entailed with that. I know Facebook does a way better job, and I'm sure YouTube will be probably following them along the way down the road. Oh, thank you, 82. If you look on this, these are crabapple trees up here. I see the starlings that practically live on those throughout the winter. Crabapple tree is one hell of a hardy tree, I'll tell you that. There's one down in Belle Isle, Michigan, or Detroit, that I know for sure is 85 years old, because I saw pictures of right where it was planted years ago. I don't know how long they live normally, but I'll tell you, it's one hell of a staple for a diet for certain animals. And this still, both these have a lot of berries on them still. Hey, Aletha, happy birthday. Yeah, Daisy loves the snow. Hey, Mark, how you doing? No, I haven't been to Tim Hortons. It'll be a year this March. I still keep in touch with the owners of it. Not like I used to, but I do. They're good people. They're from Windsor. The brother died of the owner of the one here, and they ended up inheriting like 4 or 5 others. They must be about ready to pull their hair out. They're like glass half full type people. So you'll never really get an idea on what a nightmare it must be running 5 of these. Tim Hortons hasn't been a particularly successful franchise in the United States for a lot of reasons. Canada, it's like the McDonald's that we have here. But they're a tough, they just shut the one down, as you know, in East Tawas permanently, and that was a corporate store. That wasn't a franchisee. I mean, honestly, if she called me today and said, I'm willing to give you all 5 of them, just take them over and run them, I wouldn't want them. No way. Yeah, I'm a half-empty person too. Yeah, definitely. Kind of a shitty, negative attitude. I fight it all the time. Oh, really, Blue Malibu? Yeah, I believe it. I'd like to drive one of those snow plows. You know what I've been thinking? You know what I've been thinking about doing lately? I've been thinking about getting into the used car business. Doesn't that sound crazy? And here's the reason why I want to get into it. Is because it could give me places to go to do my YouTube videos when I found cars. And I would just offer people more money. I mean, significantly more than a dealer would give them on a trade-in. But the real reason I'd like to get into it is because I just think that people get screwed on cars so much. And I got a good connection in Atlanta. It'd give me a good reason to go down there, and I could just get good vehicles. I'd even give a guarantee on used cars, because I don't want anybody to get screwed. And I think I know enough about them where I could pick cars that were maintained and in pretty good condition, and just show everybody everything up front. This is what I paid for it. This is our profit margin. Nothing crazy. And it'd just be nice to be able to get into something where you could provide people with what they thought they were getting right out of the chute. This is what we paid, this was what we did to it, and I'm going to give you a year guarantee on a used car. Now, I'm sure I'd get bent over on a few of them, but that's the probability on any scenario. Insurance companies, whatever. And this way I could just go and like play to Atlanta, wherever, get nice cars, give people reasonable deals, no screw jobs. And I think that maybe would be satisfying. Yeah, I mean, I just renewed my private detective license, but I mean, I can't tell you the last time I did a PI case myself. I'm not interested in being a PI at all, to tell you the truth. I just got sick of doing that kind of work. I did it my whole life. I don't find it interesting. I dread, I'm talking my way out of cases rather than accepting them. Oh, 140,000 miles? Yeah. Yeah, you can, what I thought about too is just, look at Daisy's getting wet. You're going to get cold, huh, if that keeps up. I mean, I'm looking into it. I did go online last night, and websites are only like, the license is only like $75. It's no big deal. Because, if you got to pay sales tax and license temporary tags and all that bullshit, I mean, if you're going to get into it for real, it wouldn't be long before it wouldn't make sense to do it that way. So I thought I'd maybe get a dealer's license and I'd go down. I may even specialize like in certain type cars, ones that you really know well. Oh, good. Yeah, it's a good day for it. Yeah, that's what I do too, Justin, yeah. Actually, I just turned 394,000 on this. I might be a little over, actually. 394,207. Yeah. So I'm due for an oil change. I mean, when I'm out doing a lot of videos and stuff, I average about 1,500 miles a week, easy. If I go out west, it's 2,500 a week. It doesn't burn any oil. I'm getting the front end rebuilt Monday. A whole new front end on this. My buddies think I'm crazy, and they're right. But I like this van. Well, my goal is 500,000, which it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Another 100,000 is nothing. So I'll rebuild the front end, new shocks all the way around, and still got my Toyota in the garage if something goes wrong with it. It's, you know, if I was like had a family or I was a working guy and I had to go to work, and if I didn't have AAA plus, I probably wouldn't be this ballsy. But if this quits on me anywhere, it's not that big of a deal. I get a 200-mile ride home with my AAA, and if I'm outside of that, I'll get an Uber. Just grab my stuff out of the back, put it in the Uber, go home, have it towed to a scrapyard. They can keep it, and just start driving my Toyota. So it's not as big of a problem for me as it would be a lot of people that needed dependable transportation. Yeah, oil changes do make a difference. I've changed the oil every 3,000 since I've owned it. Once in a while I'll go a little over like today, but not very much. And now, next time, the next vehicle I get will, I'll do synthetic, full synthetic, so it's every, 7,000, something like that. I mean, if you look at what this van's given me, this van was 15 grand brand new. And you look at what it's given me. People say you're sinking money into it. I already got my money out of it. I mean, so essentially I've had 4 cars for the price of one. That's why I don't bitch about like putting $800 into the front end. So what? Still got the original radiator, original transmission. I replaced it, just changed the water pump. Got the same power steering pump. I think I'm on my 3rd alternator, 4th starter, and of course brakes about 5 times, 6 times. Tires about 8 or 10 times. Yeah, it's a beast, man. It's all-wheel drive. Now, I've got crappy tires on here now, and the reason that I didn't put my snow tires on, I knew this was coming, but I'm not really going anywhere where it matters. And I wanted to get the front end alignment after I get this front end rebuilt Monday. Before I did that, I could have done it the other way, but it's just a mental thing about putting good tires on a front end alignment, on a front end that you know is going to wear them. Just stupid. Now, if I pile this thing up today because of these tires, well, I guessed wrong. Everything is probabilities. Whether it's riding a motorcycle, skydiving, practicing withdrawal as a good Catholic, all I can do is stack up the cards as good as I can and hope it goes my way. Yeah, but Ford, Dodge, and Chrysler are nothing anymore. It's nothing like the old days. They're a shell of their former self. It used to be the big 3. Now it's the kind of mediocre 2. I mean, everybody in the world's making cars now. I mean, if it wasn't for the Japanese, and I thank them for it, Ford Motor Company and Chrysler and GM, they'd still be making junk that fell apart in 100,000 miles. The only reason that the quality was upped because of foreign competition that was going to put them out of business. And I thank them for that. They really had to ump the ante on quality cars. Now, if you look at like national surveys, American cars are really pretty good, and you'd be surprised like at some of the cars you think that would go forever. One thing I've noticed with cars like BMWs, they've got these preventative maintenance programs where you, in order to have the warranty valid, you have to participate in. And if you took any vehicle, I don't care if it's a BMW, a Ford, whatever, and you were required to do that kind of maintenance to keep the warranty valid, they'd all run forever. So when you see a BMW with 250,000 miles, it's like, wow, it's German, that's some quality. Well, yeah, it's also been maintained. Nobody's saying anything about the 394,000 mile Chevy Astrovan because it's not cool, it's not trendy. And that's because I did the maintenance plan on my own. So this notion that one car in this day and age is so much better than another is bullshit. Yeah. And another thing that people don't understand, like, if you look at aviation engines, as an example, I'll give you an example of Lycoming IO340, which is in a Cherokee 6. There's TBO, to be overhauled, time to be overhauled. They call it different things. But it's basically a recommendation on when that engine should be overhauled. Well, if you look at, they say if you average 50 hours a year flying as a private individual, that's a lot. Well, that's also a lot of time that engine's not running, sitting in a hangar. And if you take, as an example, the IO540, and you go around and you interview people, the engine's been out forever. I had one in a 1979 Cherokee 6. If you go around and you interview people that just flew recreationally, you're going to find that those engines rarely make it to the 2,000 hour limit. Why? Because they're not flown enough. If you go to, let's say, a flight school that had an IO540, they're going 1,000 hours over, no problem, 3,000 hours instead of 2,000. Why? Because that engine's working every day. You got some students out there flying it out of a flight school someplace. That you're better off having engines used, not sitting around. That's why when I hear people tell me, oh, I just found this Cessna 150, it's only got 750 hours, the original owner, I tell them avoid it like the plague. You get in there and scope those cylinders, I guarantee you're going to see some pitting. Unless you kept it in a climate-controlled hangar, which I doubt. Usually hangars are just, I mean, they are heated. It's the humidity that ruins your engine. Yeah, Brian. And the automobile manufacturers, they've got it down pretty good now. They're getting these cars to where you can't do anything on your own. Sealed transmissions. Look at the headlight assembly on some of these vehicles now. The days of just going and taking a bulb off the rack and putting it in or slowly disappearing. It's actually taken longer than I thought it would. Yeah, they had a lot of torque. They had a lot of low-end torque. If you look at the new engines compared to the old engines, it's night and day. You had a lot of, like in the General Motors, the 454, big, heavy, low-torque engine. That's the kind that puts you back in your seat. But the engines today will blow all those older engines out of the water. You want to look at an engineering marvel, look at that engine that they put in that new mid-engine Corvette. I mean, I don't think Corvettes are particularly attractive looking anymore, but as far as a bang for your buck with performance, reliability, gas mileage, and the cost, they're cheap. You compare a Corvette to other sports cars, and you're getting a hell of a lot of fantastic killer technology for a bargain price. I've had a few Corvettes, and they're nothing but a nightmare. You're worried about them all the time. They set low to the ground. In a place like Michigan with crappy roads, you know, something's always going wrong. Tires are expensive. If you ding a rim, super expensive. Dual exhaust, even changing plugs on them now is pretty expensive. You couldn't give me a new Corvette. Hey, Pam. Pam, did you hear anything about Sarah passing away? Yeah, now I know guys that are really into cars. I'm not, but you couldn't give me one of those Hellcats either. It depends on what you're doing with it. I mean, their cornering ability is terrible. I know for a while there, a lot of insurance companies forced you to take a class before they'd insure you because they're so squirrely. Now, if you're going straight ahead, quarter mile, something like that, it'd be a hell of a lot of fun. But a Corvette would eat that thing alive. On a road that's, you know, curvy, something like, you know, like a racetrack. Yeah, Hellcat, the maneuverability is crap. No, you don't, Mario, yeah. Yeah, I don't even think, is Milan, do they even race there anymore? I thought they got rid of that place. I don't think Milan's in business anymore, is it? No, it wasn't deleted. It probably isn't processed, or I don't know what happened. Yeah, I remember going to Detroit Dragway. The top fuel dragsters, they don't even come to Michigan anymore. What's Milan now? A bunch of condominiums or something? Yeah, I don't know about Tesla, man. They lose money on every car they make, and we're way behind on being able to effectively power these charging stations. You couldn't give me a Tesla either. Yeah, there you go, Jody. Now we're talking. That's what I mean. Light assemblies, and they don't want you working on them anymore. Hey, Stacy, how you doing? Hey, Jason. I was talking to this buddy of mine last night. He has like a 8-year-old, some kind of SUV, and his insurance is $1,100 a year. And his wife's got a 2019 Subaru. Hers is $1,300 a year, and that's for no claims and no tickets. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. What they're charging for like insurance and stuff, it's not worth it. They say 5 to 10 inches, but you never know. You know, they haven't been too good at. Oh, look at the window. What's kind of odd, I find, is that you know, if you look at these snow patterns, you go on the Weather Channel or you look at the radar, they're circular. That's how you get nailed with 10 inches. It just kind of hangs over the top in a circle and dumps 10 inches. This snow's coming out of the northeast, which is crazy for this time of year, and it's a very wet snow. I would expect a wet snow out of the southwest, not out of the northeast. $68 for full coverage. Wow, now that's what it should be. Yeah, I love flying in the snow, and now today would be a bad day at flying. When you're flying, you're always looking in an airplane like I could afford. It's not all weather equipped. You may have some de-icing boots, but you're not going to have bleed air like you have on all the good stuff, or heated prop. And I've had a heated prop before too. That helps you somewhat. But this is a bad day for small airplanes, because what you always look for is the freezing level. Now, right now, if you were it's 2,000. It's 2 degrees per 1,000 feet Fahrenheit. It's called the lapse rate. So every 1,000 feet up, it's, in theory, with exception, 2 degrees Fahrenheit colder. So if you were at 5,000 feet, it's 10 degrees lower, so that'd be at like 24, 23 degrees. You'd be fine. What you don't want is to be flying through the air and having that water hit the front of the prop and the wings and freeze. Freezing brings tons of airplanes down all year long. You see a lot of people that end up buying the farm trying to take their Cessna 182 or their Cherokee 6 and make it to or from Florida that live in a Midwestern state. Today is a day where I'll bet you could be on a 5-mile final and just pick up shit tons of ice. It's the perfect scenario for icing today. Now, jets and, you know, the commercial turboprops, they're all weather equipped airplanes. Big difference. As a matter of fact, it's an FAR, Federal Aviation regulation. You could not legally take off today when known icing conditions are forecast. So if you piled it up, if you survived it, you would get charged. I'll tell you what happened. I belonged to a flying club one time. The guy was a professor at the University of Michigan. And he's a smart guy. He went to Yale, and he taught at the University of Michigan. And he was going back to Yale to do some kind of lecture anyway. Him and his wife took off, and they end up getting out over St. Clair, and the engine starts running rough. Before you know it, they get into icing. The engine ends up quitting, and they crashed in Lake St. Clair. And I was listening to the radio that day, and they were saying that an airplane had went into Lake St. Clair and that they were looking for the people. And I'm thinking, I was very active in flying at the time, and I belonged to that same club. I knew the guy. So about an hour later, I had a buddy call me, and he said, hey, that airplane that crashed, it's our club plane. It's a 182. It was Bill Williams and his wife. It's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Somebody spotted them, went down. Some guy, I think the guy was in a Citation or a Learjet. Somebody went down low and spotted them, punched it in the GPS, gave the coordinates where they went up. The wife was overweight, 100 or 150 pounds overweight. The airplane, they got out of the airplane after it hit the water, were treading water, and eventually drifted apart. And he drowned and she survived. And they said later that they thought she survived because she was overweight, and there was, she lost body heat less quickly than he did. And it just goes to show you, here's a really bright guy, but I hate to say it, but he took off in known icing conditions. So had he survived that crash, he would have been violated. Another funny thing is you're supposed to carry the approach plates from where you take off to where you land. He didn't have the approach plates for Windsor, Ontario, which is why he didn't try to shoot an approach there before the engine quit. He'd have been violated for that as well. But I'm telling you, icing in small planes does not mix. She ended up suing the government and was successful for about $400,000, and the reason for that is because when he filed his IFR flight plan, he asked to not be vectored over water. And prior to the problem occurring, they vectored him over Lake Ontario instead of around it, which is a small lake. And that's where they were end up getting $400,000. Had it not been for that, and he'd have just crashed, everything else being the same, other than him requesting that at the beginning, she wouldn't have got a dime. Yeah, ice gets you because it destroys lift. That's it. It's not because of the weight, although the weight's a factor. Hey, Pauline. Well, you need to pay your bills. That's how it makes it better. She was a single widow and lost out on about $100,000 a year salary from her husband. Makes it better because you don't go broke. Money is the next best thing to everything, which is why it's awarded. The other side of that is, I guarantee you, after the government doled out $400,000 when they vectored him over water and they shouldn't have, things got a lot safer. Everything is much safer because of lawsuits. Don't kid yourself. Everybody's worried about getting sued, which is why they do things better than they would otherwise. When he said, I don't want to be vectored over water, he shouldn't have been vectored over water, and they had to pay for it. Same with medical malpractice. Mistakes happen. It's part of the business. And when hospitals and doctors realize they've made one, in this day and age, basically they just get out the checkbook. Yeah. Hey, Cynthia. Yeah, they just get out the checkbook. I know a lady that went into Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit to remove a kidney, and they took out the wrong kidney. I mean, there are better protocols now because of that. You know, if you go in to get a leg amputated, they've got written on your leg in some kind of medically safe dry marker that says this leg, written all over your calf and your ankle and your thigh and everywhere else. There's better protocols now than there used to be. You look at Detroit, I think Detroit Receiving, I may be wrong, but they've been sued before for leaving instruments in people's bodies after the surgery. And I've talked to a couple surgical techs up here that have witnessed back surgeries before. They just couldn't believe how complacent some of the doctors were during what you would consider a once-in-a-lifetime surgery, that you think everybody would be on their P's and Q's. Oh, really, Justin? I never watched Seinfeld. I never watched one episode of it. Well, usually in the old days now, before this COVID and stuff, things were better. This would have still been a busy Saturday, but you know, people want to get up north here and north of where I live. But it's pretty slow here. I'm in the parking lot at Big Boys, which is closed. I guess restaurants can't open up till like the 21st. Yeah, I believe it, Jody. Yep, that kind of stuff. That's exactly it. I mean, when in doubt, ask the patient. I see they just, there was it a dentist? Somebody was doing surgery. I thought it was a dentist on a skateboard, playing music and stuff and acting like a clown. They just threw the book at that guy. I think that happened in Canada. I may be wrong. Yeah, they're starting to enforce that. They just raided a township meeting over on the east side of the state a few days ago. Because all public meetings are supposed to be done through Zoom or something else now. And the cops raided it, and they were having a public meeting, and they ended up writing them a bunch of tickets. Oh, treated her as a seizure? Yeah, that happens. I mean, it's unfortunate that happened, but you know, medicine isn't like an architect. If you go to an architect and you want an 8-story building with 9 garages, he can do that. Lots of architects can. Science isn't that cut and dried. I'm sure they thought at the time she was having a seizure, and that can happen sometimes. It's practicing medicine. It's, you know, sometimes there's negligence, and sometimes you're just guessing the best you can. I mean, no two people are exactly alike. It's weird. You can just look at drug interactions, how drugs metabolize, blah, blah, blah. What are you talking about, intellectual? Which one are you talking about? Yeah, Q's Cafe. It is closed, but I don't know if it's closed permanently or not. You know, they had good jobs down below, and they came up to fulfill their dream. And I hope they didn't close. They're nice people. Yeah, I see that there was nothing going on there yesterday. I'll go by there today and look on the window. You know, it depends on the area, LA. I mean, you can have problems happen anywhere. I mean, everybody talks about Cleveland Clinic being the gold standard. You got to do your own research. Another example, people tell me I can't wait someday. I'm going to take the Amtrak out west. The Sunset Limited or one of those Amtrak trips. You know, you got these dome cars and you're looking out. It's beautiful, and you think you're just going to sleep, and then you're going to look out the window some more. Go and look at the reviews. Not what Cleveland Clinic says, but what people that have experienced bad occurrences there. Look at Cleveland Clinic. Go look at Google ratings and third-party ratings where people can tell you the truth. And go on Amtrak's ratings and look at these 2,500-mile trips that you take that everybody thinks it's their dream vacation, ends up turning out to be a nightmare. those long Amtrak train trips are, it's nothing for them to get to their destination 2, 3, 4, 5 days late, running out of food, breaking down on the way, heat doesn't work, air conditioning doesn't work, beds have springs popping through the middle. It's just funny how things get out there and people believe them. Look at these Caribbean vacations. Go there and you drink a pina colada and you sit on the beach and you get trashed. You don't need to worry about a drunk driving ticket. Well, as it turns out, people are getting raped, beaten, robbed, murdered. And then you get a place like Dateline or something. They're finding out that some of these places at these luxury hotels have just crazy crime going on. And if you step outside the barbed wired fence of a lot of these places, you're going to get taken out. It's the exact opposite of what you thought you were getting into when you got there. So people need to do their own due diligence and don't believe advertising. A lot of times it's bullshit. Oh, no snow, okay. Yeah, well, it's easy to second guess what everybody should have thought they'd have done. You know, this is a new one for at least the United States. I guarantee if it ever comes down the road again, it's going to be handled differently. But it's like anything when you first get into it. You know, you're a politician. I think the governor that we have here, there's no way in hell she's ever going to get reelected, even if she did everything right. This is a bad time to be a newbie governor, because if you're believing what the Center of Disease Control says and you're effectively shutting down areas because of what you believed, you're going to think much differently if you're a business owner and you're going broke. So it's a tough time to be a politician. Yeah, armed guards at resorts. Another one is cruises. Look at cruises, the stuff that goes on cruises. I get an idea that the cruise industry is pretty much done. Unless a new generation of people come out and the economy of cruise proves that, you know, think this isn't ever going to happen again. But you couldn't give me $1 million to go on a cruise ship after I've witnessed the possibilities of something like Corona. Besides, I don't like the idea of it anyway. I've been on a few cruises. I thought they were all boring as hell. Seems like a big drinking fest with a bunch of crazies. Yeah, that's right down the street. Actually, it's the snowplows right down the street, about a mile down the street on the other side of this McDonald's. Yep. Yeah, Petri dishes. Yeah, I would agree with that. No, same thing on the cruises. Yep, no way. Yep, not me. Not happening. I couldn't take my Daisy on a cruise ship. Hey, Julie, how you doing? I mean, the world has changed, man. It's like, God, what do you do now? I wouldn't want to be famous either. That's got to be a nightmare. You know, when you're young, you think it'd be cool, all the girls you'd meet. Then you get older and you look back, you think, God, I'd wear a mask in public. There'd be nothing more uncomfortable than seeing 100 good-looking bimbos screaming for you and wanting your autograph that didn't know a thing about you. All they knew is that you just threw 3 touchdowns. That would not be fun. Oh, God, I don't want to be. Daisy's famous because she rides with Dad everywhere. Don't you, hon? You ride with Dad everywhere? Oh, yeah. Oh, I think so too, Blue Malibu, yeah. Yeah, she will later. Yeah, she'll play in the snow. Yep. Yeah, she's a cute dog. She's a good girl. Daisy wanted to get out. No, I don't understand that either. I mean, I think it might have been cool being a celebrity, like during Marilyn Monroe's age era. Although I bet I'm sure she'd be with you if she could talk. Ended up working against her. Yeah, Daisy likes the snow. She was running around yesterday having a good time. Took her for a long walk. Yeah, she does, yep. Yeah, I hope that Q's didn't close down, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Yeah, I hope not. I saw that. I thought of them yesterday. I thought, man, that's not a good sign. A Friday night and a Friday, early, and they were not open. I'll go by and look at the sign today. Now, I don't know, is it the Powerball tonight? Mega Millions and Powerball, those jackpots were both really high. I think it's the Powerball tonight. Get one, it's like 275 million or something like that. No, I've been to about 4 places and the website's not accurate. I got off US 10 last night to get some tacos. The place was closed. That's happened to me like 3 times. I got to start calling and verifying it. A lot of places are, they're going out of business or broke. They're not updating their website. But I don't think Q's. I think they're shut down. Yeah, but intellectual. I mean, that's one thing. I don't want to say I fault West Branch for. I give them credit trying to do whatever they can. But this Victorian theme is over. Since I've been coming up here for 50 years, they've been trying to get people to get off at 2:12 and back on at 2:15. The market has changed. You got to pay attention to it. You have to respond to your customers. Nobody gives 2 shits about downtown West Branch. That's just why half the places are out of business. There are better things along the way. Better pizzas, better food, better prices, better parking. I mean, you gotta reinvent the wheel, and they haven't done it. They're promoting the same theme now as they did 50 years ago. The Victorian theme, not working. Hey Sheila, how you doing? I mean, if you pay close attention, you'll see now that the economy is basically slowly heading south. Unless you're in a specialized industry, the old days of having a good middle class income are not looking too hot. You got health professionals, you got people that work for the government, people that work for the casinos, and then specialty IT people, that kind of thing. But this notion that you're going to be a high school graduate and make $100,000 a year working in a factory are over. Those are not coming back. Which is why I think a place like where I live here, once the baby boomers like me die off, I don't think anybody's going to be replacing us. People are having a hard time keeping one home, let alone 2, and a boat and a canoe and a jet ski and all that. That middle class money is disappearing. Believe me, I'm on the road all the time. I see it firsthand. Even when I was up in Sault Ste. Marie and Mackinac, which are traditionally very tourist heavy places, they've survived for years off tourism. All sorts of places out of business, lease, rent to own, lots for sale, just tons of stuff all over for sale and out of business. And it's just not there. It was out west as well. The Dakotas, through Minnesota, out in Montana. I mean, the middle class is in a big, deep spiral. Either you've got money or you don't. I mean, you can go around here, go to Tim Hortons, McDonald's, you go in there, it's a bunch of adults working. 40 years ago, it was a bunch of teenagers getting experience so they could put something down on a resume. Go to Walmart now. It's nothing to see 50, 60, 70-year-olds. I know a 55-year-old lady, super out of shape, just got a job working for UPS over near St. Clair. I worked at UPS as a college kid, and they were very picky. I mean, if you weren't in shape, you weren't getting hired, and they checked your references. It was hard to get in there. Now they'll take any beating heart because nobody wants to work. And on that note, I'm telling you, man, if you think you're going to get me to work for like a slave for $10 an hour, it's not happening. It's a no-brainer. Nobody can seem to figure out why somebody'd rather sit on their ass at home and watch movies as opposed to working like a slave for $10. Well, you can count me in on the sitting on the couch and watching movies rather than working like a slave for $10. I'd be one of those. They wonder why they can't get help. I'll tell you why. Who wants to go to work for 40 hours a week and you're still slowly going in the hole? I wouldn't. You got to just check the box. Do you want to be like a lazy bum that does nothing and get what you can for the government? Or do you want to work like a slave for $10 an hour, 40 hours a week? I think I'll be the lazy bum. Sorry. Oh, UPS. That's the only job I truly ever hated in my life. I hated working there. I really did. They were a bunch of slave drivers. What type job did you do at UPS? I did everything. Wash trucks, sorter, unloader, loader. I hated every single one of them. I hated that job so bad. But if you talk to UPS drivers, like somebody that has worked there for, let's say, 25, 30 years, and they've been a driver, that was the carrot that they always hung in front of your face at UPS, that if you do this and you do that, you're going to be able to drive a truck someday and make, $1 million. And that, it's amazing how they pulled that off. But I'll tell you, anybody that I ever knew that drove the brown truck for 25 or 30 years, they all had joint problems. And that wears your ass out getting in and out of that truck for 25 years. You may have a good pension and good benefits, but your body's shot. This is West Branch, Michigan. Yeah, the post office has got that now. Got like that now. When I was a kid growing up, a lot of our postal carrier delivery guys, they had full-time jobs someplace else. They'd be like done in a half day. And right about the time when I was graduating, that all started to end. They would have management shadow these guys. But there were guys that were getting full-time postal pay for part-time work. Well, those days are long gone. You're right. These people don't realize it, but in the old days, the post office had one big season that they worked like dogs, and that was December. That was also before Amazon and people did the majority of their shopping on the internet. There is actually higher volume at post office sometimes now in the summer than there is in the winter because of Amazon. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, do you think you'll ever see the post office working on Sunday? I'd have said, no way. I see them working on Sunday all the time now. What are they doing? Delivering Amazon. Oh, on a ventilator, okay. Yeah, they work their ass off now. Going to the post office, even in a little town like where I'm from, it's balls to the walls work all the time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working hard, but when you're working hard and you still can't afford a house, even though you're saving as much money as you can, that isn't the United States that you would like it to be. I mean, things have changed big time. Yeah, but Joe, on the other hand, it's capitalism at its finest. It's capitalism at its finest. That's the way it works. Amazon and Walmart. Now, I got a doctor buddy of mine. He says there's no way in hell that vaccine is going to work like they think it's going to work. Not in this short a time frame. Vaccines take like 10 years. Clinical trials, double-blind studies, blah, blah, blah. Tweaking, titration. Oh, okay. Well, you got to see the post office change during your career. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working hard. I'm not saying you should be a big lazy ass couch potato and get rich. I'm just saying that the dollar amount to live a certain lifestyle isn't what it used to be, and you end up working much harder than the old days. Yeah, I'm really afraid to, I don't know how they're going to fund this whole thing. I mean, I think federal government, that's what it's for. You can't, you're shutting places down to protect the public, but you're also, lots of people are going out of business. I don't understand what the long-term mechanism is to fund these programs. Oh, housing market. Yeah, you look at a place like where Stephanie lives, Seattle, or go look at housing prices in Palm Beach, Florida, or San Mateo, California. Even the average Joe can't afford to live in San Francisco. Yeah, I caught the tail end of the good old days. I mean, anything that I've got, it's from money I made 20 years ago, not now. Hey, Veronica, how you doing? Yeah, it's snowing here. Better believe it. Yep. Hey, Karen. Yeah, I don't know what to, Daisy's sleeping. Yeah, well, that's the something has to break is the standard of living that we're used to. That's what's breaking. That's the problem. And even now, like college, I mean, this is another upside down pineapple cake. You go get some bullshit degree like I've got, and you owe $100,000 in student loans when you graduate. You got to be kidding me. And you're probably not going to get hired in your field of choice. Yeah, mythical. I know. I think of that all the time. Yeah. Luckily, hopefully, I'm not going to be around to witness it. I think I may have like maybe 10 or 15 years. I'm glad I don't have like 25 or 35 years. I know a couple people that have died in the last few years. The guy that owned the willow tree, for one, boy, he doesn't realize he checked out of here right at the right time. I guess the family ended up losing that sugar bowl in Gaylord, and it looks like the willow tree is about ready to go tits up. So if there was a time to die, this sounds morbid, but I mean, let's talk reality here. Man, that guy died about 2 years ago. He missed all the bullshit. Now, if you asked me, would you rather be dead or alive? Well, of course, I'd rather be alive. But deep down in my heart of hearts, I think, man, if you're going to die, which we all are, you can't argue against. He picked a pretty good damn time to do it. Oh, we're partying. Yeah, Indy, yep, same thing. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that terrible to think that way? You know, you run into people, even when I first moved to Chicago in '98, I know a couple airline pilots that were retired, and they were marrying women like 35 years younger than them. And they were just really sad that they weren't younger and they could live longer. They're probably all dead now, because they would have been around 65 then. Maybe not. Some could be hanging in there, but man, I'll tell you, the state of affairs, it's hard not to be negative. I mean, I'm biased because I'm negative anyway, but I try to like look for the positive, and it's just such a stretch. Isn't that crazy, Blue Malibu, thinking like that? I just think of all the stuff you skipped. when you consider that we're all going to die. I mean, to me, this is stressful. I never believed I would worry so much about other people, but I'm constantly like thinking of the future and the hope, and God damn it. Yeah, I grew up in the 70s, yeah. Yeah, it is. Isn't that the truth? I mean, if it's hard to find positives, that isn't being negative, because what's there to be positive about? It's different. There are people that are going to put their head in the sand, they're running around, you're looking at things the wrong way, you're half empty. Okay, right, yeah, but it can't be blind faith. I mean, that's for religion. It shouldn't be reality. It's hard to have blind faith in making a decent income again when you've been furloughed at 45 years old, you got a house payment, a car payment, a wife you can't stand, 2 kids that don't study. Such. Yeah. Isn't that crazy, Andy? It sucks thinking this way, but I mean, I would rather think this way than pie in the sky. I run into some people occasionally, I think, you're too damn dumb to, like, realize what's going on. There's a theory out there that chronically depressed people see the world in a more accurate vein than people that aren't. And I kind of think that way. But I'm also a chronically depressed person. So I'm biased. Yeah, realist. Yeah, that's right. Now you know why. I mean, if you'd have told me 20 years ago, when you look at the Civil War, that's why there's so much worldwide curiosity and interest in a civil war. And that, let's face it, if you read about it, that wasn't about slavery at all. It was about economics, but they used slavery as a platform. Well, if you'd have told me 20 years ago, there's a possibility you're going to see a civil war again in your lifetime, I'd have said, no way. Why? Everything's great. This is the United States. It's the land of opportunity. Well, I don't think that way anymore. When you look at real estate prices in San Francisco, Seattle, San Mateo, Miami Beach, you've got those people. And then you've got the vast majority of the middle class giving concessions, being furloughed, getting laid off, having their jobs go to wherever. They're making $12 an hour instead of being able to, live a lifestyle. That's what leads to a civil war, the disproportionate amount of wealth and income. On the other hand, I don't knock people from being successful and becoming wealthy. Jeff Bezos, here he gets an A+ for capitalism, and everybody wants to put one between his eyes. That's not fair. They do the same thing with Google. It's not fair. They're the epitome of capitalism. They did a great job. They did what everybody's trying to do, and now they're villainized for it. It's not right. I'm not misleading people at all, Charles. Give me some examples. Give me some facts. Give me some facts otherwise. I think you're right, Indy, yeah. Yeah, he worked for what he got. And a part of this is luck. Luck matters. Look at Domino's Pizza. I mean, look at Tom Monahan. I mean, Tom Monahan could just as easily working a double shift, making pizzas in a one-man band shop in Ypsilanti like he did when he started. Not exactly an intellectual. You get people working for you. Look at Ray Kroc and the people that he had working for him. Part of it's luck. Luck and timing, that's exactly it. Charles probably won't come up with any facts at all. He's just going to say I'm misleading people and then say something like, I don't want to get into it, or I don't have time for this, because he doesn't have any facts. No, he can't back it up. He knows that. Charles knows this. He's probably well known in the area he comes from. All these people that either get blocked, banned, think that the corona is fake, It's a government conspiracy. All these people are used to getting kicked out of places, shunned by their neighbors, distanced by their family, and divorced by their spouse. You're not that age and just become this way one morning. You've been this way your whole life. You're a misfit, a reject, an unsuccessful, miserable drunk, a dope addict, or a kook. And your behavior exhibits this kind of thinking. It's true. Your life will turn out the way it does because of the way you think. Yeah, good luck to you too, Amy. Yeah, I mean, it's the way these people didn't turn to this. I'll give you perfect examples. Look at the people that come on that have hassled me, stalked me. You got this kook in Las Vegas. She's had her children taken away from her. She's low bottom, porn with no customers, troublemaking, stalking. You got another nut that just pled guilty to harassment, whose family doesn't want to have anything to do with her. You're in Flint living with your mother at 50 years old, putting pictures of bongs on the internet while your kid runs around all day spelling words incorrectly and losing every spelling bee she's ever entered in. Another nut job that thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist and that I'm out to get her because she has cancer, which is just nuts. If you look back at anybody that I banned or didn't want being part of discussions we've had, it's because, in my opinion, they're crazy and their behavior exhibits that. Look, you guys, I'm not stalking anybody. I don't even wish ill will on anybody. I wish the best for them all. If you have cancer, I hope you get over it. But I'm not behind the scenes driving by people's houses and trying to cause them problems. Not happening. This is all created between your ears, and it's false. And if you look at the success you've had in life, I know what I've done, and I know what you've done, and I'd rather be me. Not that it's been great, but I'm not a lunatic, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not going to be. And it's also why when people come on here and start thinking they're going to talk about Corona and we're all full of shit, and it's just something that's overhyped, it's time for you to get the virtual boot. Don't want you here. We don't want to have crazy, non-logical, stupid, silly, drug-induced coma-type conversations about something that's serious, severe, and needs to be addressed. Yeah. Charles is probably a fake ID. No, Charles, okay, if you're married and you're having a happy life, that's good, but give me some examples of why you think anything I said isn't true. Can you do that? Yeah, it sucks. Reality sucks now. Yeah, you're right, Jody. Yep. I think you're right, India. I know. It makes me want to be D.B. Cooper, number 2. I gotta put that up. Daisy's gonna get cold. I put that up, hon. You're gonna get cold, honey. You get wet. D.B. Cooper, number 2. Charles already didn't come back with anything. Hey, Shanico, how you been? What have you been up to? Look at that one. Oh, you're not gonna get it, huh? I wouldn't get it either. I wouldn't. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Well, hang in there, Diego. How old are you? They may end up giving you one, tracking you down, handcuffing you, and giving you one in the butt. Good. How you been? What are you working a lot or what? Good point, Mark. That is a good point. That is a good point. No, I'm down in West Branch, Michigan. Yeah. Church, no panties. You know, you can laugh and blow that guy off, but what the hell's he got to worry about? You know, when you don't have anything to lose, in a way you can argue that that's virtuous. Like, I'm sure when you're pulling up your used double-thick blanket from Goodwill and snuggling up underneath an awning someplace where you're not getting wet, that there may be a good argument against that. But church, no panties. He doesn't have anything to lose. You wouldn't think that'd be an advantage. His life can only get better. It can't get worse. Yeah, there's something obviously wrong with the guy. He's a 40-year-old that still thinks that talking about titties is funny. All these people that thought they would go on and make up these channels about me killing girls and them missing just have made complete fools of themselves. But Nitty's been making a fool out of himself ever since he came out of diapers. He's used to it. His life's never going to get any better. He reached the Peter principle at about the 3rd grade. Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to really get a little instant shot of dopamine, just feeling good about yourself today, just that little extra oomph to, like, look for some hope, some happiness, even if it's a distraction, even if it's a bad decision, you decide to go with it, send $10 to the church with no panties. He hasn't been caught in any molestation charges, scamming people for money, driving a Cadillac. This guy hasn't gotten caught in any trouble. Why not? It's worth a try for $10. At least you can have the illusion of a false hope, which matters. Yeah. False hope. There's something to it. Church, no panties. Charles, where are you? Yeah, I would agree with that, Jody. Yep. Yeah. You have to work today, LA? Oh, thank you, Andy. Yep. If you use that buddy pass, use one of your buddy passes for me. I just want to fly off into Nowheresville. I want a one-way ticket to nowhere, first class. You still haven't given any rebuttal, Charles. Yeah, even like flying, you know, I got buddies of mine that are pilots, but most of them are like they're in a good position, but flying's always been that way. Feast or famine. Hell, a year ago they were looking for pilots. Oh, thank you, Joe. What do you want me to spend it on? Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, but Laura, if you read anything about vaccines, it's about a 10-year deal. There's something suspicious here. Yeah, thank you, Virgil. He probably won't like him anymore. You know, when someone doesn't agree with what you agree with, things don't seem to bode very well. It's like people that drink around people that don't drink. Drinkers don't want to be around non-drinkers. It's just the way it is. I hope they just get the biggest syringe in the world. I mean, one of those kinds you'd see on a Benny Hill show. You know, some big, like, 4-foot syringe. And I hope they fill it up with laughing gas. strap me down like they were going to execute me, and just shoot me in the butt cheek with about 9 gallons of laughing gas. Just go out on a big magic carpet. That's great, Charles. Thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah. Hell yeah, one big giant magic carpet ride. You'll know I'm in trouble when the neighbors are calling the police on me at 3 in the morning when I'm listening to Jim Morrison songs at full volume. Benny Hill. Those are the good old days. You could go work your double shift and make 3 times more as a college professor and look at your jet ski and your jet boat and your Corvette in the garage and 2 motorcycles and plan on your 2-week vacation. You know, sometimes I think too, maybe we just got used to a false standard of living. Maybe our income level was higher than it should have been all these years. I think about that sometimes too. And maybe this is just the great equalizer. Either you're a brain surgeon or a pauper, and this was going to come one way or the other, and we should be grateful for the 50 or 60 years we had it that we didn't deserve. I think of that sometimes too. I don't know what the hell to believe, man. I need somebody to follow. Jeez. Yeah, I think they're you know, you could say we were spoiled, yeah, you know. I'm just lucky that I dodged the bullet. I could just as easily be working the afternoon shift at the Shell gas station, trying to figure out how I was going to keep my lights from getting turned off. That could happen to any of us. Or I could have a brand new Range Rover with $1,450 payments a month, and in 10 years it would be paid off and it'd be mine. Forget that, man. As far as I'm concerned, my Astro van cost me too much. Look at our infrastructure too with public transportation. What a joke. So if you get on yourself sometimes for just sitting on your ass and not doing enough, don't feel bad. The government did it too. Everybody owning their own car, you can't get on a train. That's part of Detroit's problem. There aren't enough bus routes to get people to a job on time without riding the damn thing 4 hours before your shift starts and another 4 after you get off. Poor planning. Yeah. You go down around the wall down there around the Mexican-American border, I bet you don't find people jumping over there like you used to. If anything, we're going to be... I hope they don't build it too tall, because I won't be able to get the hell out of here. Right on, I take you for a ride. Yep. Oh, you got rain? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a day of chronic depression. You walk up to the wall and you think that you bought into all this stuff, and now you're thinking it's too damn high to scale yourself. You wish you wouldn't have voted that way. If I end up homeless and broke, I can tell you one thing, at least it's going to be in a place where it's warm. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Daisy's checking things out. I mean, here I am sitting in the parking lot of a Big Boys, and it's not even open. If you'd have told me this 10 years ago, I'd have said that's not possible. Okay, Jeff. Yeah. One guy said Sarah died, but I haven't heard that confirmed. Somebody else said she's on a ventilator. I really don't know. I don't know what to believe. Oh, sorry about that, Amos. Yeah. Hey, now you're gonna laugh at this, and but I'm serious about this. Thank God we've got YouTube. I mean, no matter how you feel about YouTube and their political interests, whatever, just take that and put it. What will we be doing without YouTube right now? At least we can vent and talk and exchange ideas. And prior to YouTube, I think I'd have been in a rubber room again. Not the first time, again. Yeah. And they're not deducting $9.99 out of all of our checking accounts per month to be able to do it. It's totally free. Oh, do they, Joe? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, YouTube definitely helps. I think it does, yeah. Yep. I mean, the other alternative prior to YouTube would be just getting brainwashed by turning the TV or listening to the radio. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. You're probably crazy. Yeah, Becky Warman. Okay, Becky's, smarter than the average working girl, so she's always got an iron in the fire that many wouldn't have. You know? Yeah, I think so too. I think I would, yeah. Nah, you can't. Nah, I mean, you really... nah, it's too much work. I mean, who really cares what anybody says about me on YouTube? I mean, a few people that have been blocked and banned, I told them to get lost. But really, when it comes down to the bottom line, what are any of these losers really doing? The kook in Las Vegas, the nut job in Flint, and the complete and total black bozo in Detroit. Nobody cares what these people think. I mean, nobody will even hire them. They don't have jobs. They don't have careers. They're the dregs of society, just desperately grasping for some recognition that they'll never have. They don't have the tools. They don't have the IQ. They don't have anything to offer other than hate, lies, and disdain. And their channels reflect that. Half their subscribers are fake IDs they've created on their stolen computer. Nobody cares what they think. I mean, people send me screenshots, and I don't even care about reading them. They're just like brain-dead ignoramuses. It doesn't bother me because all you got to do is consider the source. I mean, don't you think if anybody thought this was literal and serious that I would have been questioned about it by now? All you got to do is sit on one of their lies and listen to them for 10 seconds and you realize they're nuts. I mean, nobody pays attention to that kook over in Prince Edward Island. Yeah, well, that's all she's going to do, watch. She's not going to comment. I'm not that kind of asshole to, like, take emails that people sent and post them to try and convince somebody. I probably should, but I won't. But all these nut jobs that come up that are constantly emailing me, they're always trying to communicate. They want to collaborate. I don't want anything to do with them. They can't show you one email from me where I've ever responded. They can't show you one. I have nothing to do with them. Yeah, they're just nuts. It's all make-believe bullshit. Yeah. I mean, really, there's really nothing to rise above. If you ask them to come up with a resume, it'd be one line: unemployed the last 26 years. The nut job in Flint says that I'm running for something. She's the one with outstanding warrants, not me. Yeah, they're just really crazy people. The advantage we have of these nut jobs is that you get to see them for yourself, because if somebody would have told you about them and you not been able to witness it, you might not have believed it. Yeah, you get to see through YouTube what legitimate, bona fide lunatics are like because they start channels. You can't even believe it's real. Yeah, his interviews, it's a non-factor. Frank got to the party way too late. Yeah, and really, they don't get that many views. If you look at the people that belong to their channels, they're people that are blocked and aren't welcome here. They're nut job troublemakers. Yeah. The real issue I have, I feel sorry for their children. Can you imagine that them being your parents, and just what kind of a role model you would have growing up as a young child? Their kids don't stand a chance. Can you imagine Debbie's young daughter wanting to get help with a paper she needed to write for an English class? The do's, the D's, the do's, the we ain't got none. Or this black bozo in Detroit with talking about titties while his kid sits there and wonder what he's talking about. Or this nut job in Prince Edward Island who's all her family's left her because she's just a ex-druggie with a criminal record that no one wants to listen to. These people are bona fide blue chipper wackos. A petition to get my channel canceled. Yeah, you see how well that went, don't you? Like I said, all of them have one common denominator. Their number one enemy is success. They haven't been successful in anything. Why would they think their channel would be popular? Yeah. I feel sorry for the kids, I really do. Can you imagine Debbie being your mother? Oh my God. I try to look at the bright side of things. I think her number one chance for making an income and being successful is to go around and be a Roy Orbison impersonator. Hey, Penny. It wouldn't take much makeup. It wouldn't take any extra black hair dye. And she's already got the sunglasses. Thank you, Indy. Yeah, it's really sad. These kids have, if a child could sue their parents, this would be a slam dunk. Still talking about dope and getting high and putting photos of bongs on her page. 50-some years old, living in the basement of her mother's home. Even her mom, she's got to just think sometimes, well, how's Debbie doing? Well, let me yell down the stairs and find out. 50-some years later, and that baby girl is still dependent on your income tax. It doesn't get much lower than that. Yeah, I'm fine with an Indy. Yeah, Neff, that's well put. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know it. Yeah. They just never got over the hump. Yeah, this is a good snow day. This is actually just as they forecast. I give the weather forecaster a. I don't know what her problem is. What another thing that you'll see with some of these nut jobs is what they did is they kind of extended an olive branch and they wanted to collaborate, they wanted to interview, and it wasn't because I really didn't like them, I didn't know them, and I just never got together, and they look for anything they can hang their hat on to villainize me. I mean, this nut job actually thought that tells people that I killed Raven, which on that note, Raven's family is actually scared of her. They thought it was super creepy and super weird that she would put a video up going to Raven's gravesite, which I agree with. She had absolutely zero connection to that. They think she's a total wacko. Yeah. No, but nobody really cares. She'll talk to herself for an hour, and it'll all not make any sense. And then she'll go on to make another one down the road. Oh, big time crazy. I mean, total whack jobs. Like I said, nobody really pays attention to them. I probably would have had some concern if I got an intelligent, well-spoken person that could put a sentence together that was out there starting rumors about me, but I'm home free with these idiots. If you take them all and you put them together, Ollie, Debbie, and Frank, we're still around the first or second grader level. I mean, these are nothing to worry about. These are non-factors in the internet world. If you added all three IQs up together, you're still looking around the Down syndrome, high-functioning stage, tops. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I would actually get in trouble stalking this Roy Orbison lookalike. Oh, you're lucky, Karen. You're lucky. I've never seen it either, but I've been told she gets tanked and shows her tramp stamp. I think I'd just blow my head off if I ever saw that. Yeah. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Nope. Well, I'll bet you Debbie's not a high school graduate. I bet you Frank's not, and I'll bet you Ollie's not. I guarantee you she didn't go to grade 13. That's something I never thought about. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, they're not. They couldn't even get over the first smaller hurdle in life, graduating from high school. Yeah. Well, I do think she could make it as a Roy Orbison impersonator. I really do, even though she's a female. She lacks that feminine gene. It's that chiseled Jay Leno chin and that nose and that dark black dyed hair. She's got the sunglasses already. I think she should get working on karaoke Roy Orbison from Flint. No, you wouldn't want to see it. Yeah, no way. Yep. Yeah, and one of these other nut jobs that, what happens sometimes is you'll get into a deal, is we'll have a chat, everybody's having a good time, and I'll have to do something. There have been a couple of times where I've had to make emergency moderators. Not very often, but a couple of times. And that's because they're enjoying the chat and I got something to do, so somebody's got to babysit the thing, or you go on there and there'll just be all sorts of shit. And that's how the one kook out in the East Coast got to be a moderator. It didn't last long. It didn't take long for me. I mean, you base it on interaction and you need somebody right then and there. I mean, moderators perform a super important function. And you get to see over time the ones you made a good choice on and the ones you made a bad choice on. And when I can see I've made a bad choice and there's been a drama queen or a troublemaker, I just get canned one the other day. I get rid of them. I don't want drama, gossip, monger, negative people ruining what is generally a pretty fun and interesting chat. And as you can see, it's off to the races once they're canned. They even advertise themselves as ex chosen one moderators. Yeah, that's true, they were, but not for very long. They didn't last long. And to me, that speaks volumes. Look, I don't wish for anybody to be sick, particularly with a potentially terminal disease like cancer. But I also have zero interest in making life rough for you, trying to get followers, stalk you. These are all imaginary things you've created in your mind. Nobody from my channel is stalking you. Get a life. But you see, when you get down into nut jobs with nothing to do, there's nothing left other than to create these scenarios that aren't even happening. This isn't happening. This is all make-believe. You have nothing to create a video about if you don't hate me or you make up a story about people that are on my channel stalking you. It's nuts. There's nobody from my channel stalking you. I'm not stalking you. When I'm in Flint, I'm not driving by this kook's house. I could care less. I mean, does anybody out there see one reason why I would have anything to do with her? If she wanted to pay me $5,000 in cash to meet her today, I wouldn't do it. I have zero interest, much less getting in trouble by doing something to these people that, why? Well, I mean, where's the plus in this? Can anybody out there come up with even the slightest idea why I would want to get anywhere near these nut jobs? For what? I don't find them attractive. They're dumber than a box of rocks. They'd be nothing but trouble. Why would I want to spend any time doing anything with any of them? It just doesn't make any sense. No, zero. For what? I mean, there's sometimes I think there may be opportunities where I could meet people that belong to the channel. I have met people. But can anybody out there come up with any reason why I would want to meet that kook in Prince Edward Island, the nut job in Las Vegas, the drunk driver with outstanding warrants in Flint, or the black bozo in Detroit who hasn't worked a legitimate job for the last 20 years? Why? Why would I want to have anything to do with them? And even more so, can anybody come up with even the tiniest shred of evidence that I would kill a working girl, murder a working girl, that I'd be responsible for them missing? Number one, as you know, I've been a licensed private detective for almost 40 years. I have a current license now. You can check it out in the state of Michigan. It's Thomas H. Reed. I just renewed my license. It's good for another 3 years. I have my cell phone with me all the time that is always enabled with GPS. Okay? Everybody knows where I'm at. I go back and I interview everybody if I have an opportunity that I've interviewed somewhere along the line before. I'm interested in talking to them. This kook job, freak case, nut job in Flint actually thought that the damage to my van was because I hit Raven. This is how nuts these people are. Do you realize how off the charts crazy that is? This nut job in Detroit, chosen one, what is it? Chosen one, girls, some shit. I get these mixed up. And he takes the avatar of a girl that was hit by a car and uses that on his channel. It doesn't get any crazier than that. It doesn't. No. And this nut job out in the East Coast thinking that, you know, I'm bullying a cancer victim. Are you crazy? I would never do that. Actually, I sent her about $30 worth of refrigerator magnets when I was out west. I knew she had cancer, supposedly, and she collected refrigerator magnets, so I sent her some. That's all I did. Now, if I was a real jackass, I would post the emails that she sent me before she went off the deep end. If she does have cancer, believe me, if you're listening, I hope you get over it. Honest to God, I wish the best for you. I do. But this notion that I would be responsible for anything negative towards you is absolutely false. You can't come up with a shred of evidence to support that. Zero, nothing. All these people, they can't give you any bit of anything that points towards me being anything but a good guy. Nothing. Yeah. It's just crazy. And I'm not bragging about this, but I still keep in touch with Raven's family. I mean, I don't think any great long life relationship develop out of it, but they call me and we talk, and you know, if there's anything I could do to help them out, why I'm in Detroit, I'd be glad to do so. I mean, I don't think we were drawn as lifelong best friends because of the unfortunate ending of Raven. I mean, they're nice people. They're obviously traumatized and disappointed that it didn't have a better ending. So am I. I'm not bringing their name up, but I'm just letting you know that this creep going to her grave, it doesn't get any creepier than that. Well, I don't know about that, Lady Dark. Are you drinking again? But thank you. Daisy's sacked out. It is, yeah. This is really coming down pretty good. This is really, I'm really glad it has, to be honest with you. Really super slow up here. Now you would say, hey, you dumbass, of course it's slow. You're in the middle of a heavy snowstorm. Well, believe it or not, in the old days, see, all bets are off now. There's too many things going on to predict anything. But I'll tell you, if this was like a year ago, it'd be busy as hell up here right now. Snowmobilers would be up here. People be on the way to their cabins and second homes. This is very slow. You can't blame it on the snow because people come up here for the snow. You know, to snowmobile and things like that. Yeah, well, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll go by Q's. Daisy's snacked out right now. Daisy, could you move over to the seat for me, honey? Why are you so tired, hon? You didn't do anything today. I hope Daisy gets up in a minute. Why are you tired, hon? Daisy's sacked out. That's a good girl. Oh, you woke up there, honey. Huh? You woke up there, honey? Huh? Can you get over there, hon? Can you get over there for Dad? Yeah, cut of carbohydrates. No, Daisy absolutely loves... Yeah, Daisy is bothered by the weather, the hot weather. She hates the heat. She ran around like a nut yesterday. This is the best weather you could ask for with Daisy. Nope, she didn't have any joint problems. Yeah, it's beautiful snow. This is a beautiful snow, really is. Yeah, I got lucky with Daisy, yeah. It doesn't look to me like this Tim Hortons even open today. I haven't seen any cars going in and out of there. This Shell really is kind of slow. Don't forget, you guys, buy your lottery ticket tonight. I'm telling you, it could hit it. Well, they said 5 to 10 inches. I bet we've probably got maybe 5 inches so far. So we got the 5, and I expected it to warm up. I think they did as well, and it hasn't. So I would say, I haven't looked at radar lately, but maybe we'll get the whole 10. There you go. Daisy is a chosen one. She's sleepy today. Yeah. Oh, Andy, I hope you get. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Wouldn't that be great? Start a commune. That'd be so cool. I never thought I'd want to belong to something like that. I'm doing all sorts of shit I thought I'd never do. Yeah, I say start a commune. Just get in a place where we could just insulate ourselves from reality. Once you don't need money, I'm sure life would just take on a whole new meaning. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Do you expect to go back to work, Indy, or not? Just remember when you hired in, they told you all these places you were going to get to travel for free and how fun it'd be. Oh yeah, that's my girl. That's my baby. Oh yeah, huh? You think that'll really happen still? Oh, you got rain, huh? Oh, I got some tickets. You guys ought to, all you Christians out there, I want you to engage the praying gear. If I win it, man, we're going to have the biggest party ever. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, lottery, yep. You know, you can buy these tickets online, too. You can get them online. You can get tickets in other states online. Somebody told me the other day you can, like, download an app that scans all your tickets no matter where they're from. Yep, please do. All psychics, Christians, positive thinkers, pray that I win. Oh, really, Andy? Is that right, huh? Wow. Yeah, you can buy tickets online. Yeah, I've never done it, but people say you can buy tickets for any lottery anywhere online. But you definitely want to get. I don't know if anybody hit the one last night. I think it was the Mega Millions. I think it's the Powerball tonight, but I may have mixed up. So check. Just buy one. $2, big deal. Yeah, you're right, Angela. Yep. Oh yeah, that's a Powerball right there, Daisy. Daisy, a Powerball. Oh yeah, that's the Powerball. Oh yeah, Daisy loving this day. Daisy's loving today. No, I don't want a GoPro. GoPro actually offered to give me free cameras. That's been my only sponsor, GoPro. I didn't want them. I don't really like that GoPro stuff. It's okay, but it's not for me. Only takes one. That's right. Hey Sharon, how you doing? Getting bombed with snow out here today. You want to get over there, honey? You get over there for Dad? You hop over there for me, please, honey? Can you get over there, honey? You get over there, please, hon? I hate to move you. You get over there, please? Look at the baby. Can you get over there, honey? She doesn't want me to take her down. Can you get over there, please, honey? Huh? My little chimpanzee. You get over there, hon? Go on. Please. There you go, honey. Good girl, honey. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go drive around a little bit. Hope I can make it through this. Oh yeah, I guess that Tim Hortons is open. Well, it's definitely getting warmer. It's not sticking to the trees like it would normally. Everybody's driving super slow. Yeah, you know, we had a couple pairs of woodpeckers, and I haven't seen them in a long time. Pileated woodpeckers. We got like 3 different kinds of woodpeckers. Hairy woodpecker, pileated, and there's another one. No, I never put up any Christmas decorations, no. It's because I'm not gay. You see me putting up Christmas decorations, look for this shotgun in the corner. I will have hit rock bottom officially. Half-filled bottle of Prozac, empty dragon's milk, be singing to the Christmas tree drunk. I'll mistake the ornament on the top as an intruder. No, I'm not. Yeah, sipping the tea, spilling the tea, something like that. I wish the best of luck with Sharon. Now, anybody that knows Sharon, including Sharon, this is a big hill to climb. So it's no cakewalk. The more I read, the more I find that external support is the missing ingredient with most success stories. I hope people on the internet could create enough of that. Now, for anybody up around this area, you got to put out bird seed today because the birds can't. Obviously, everything's covered up on the ground. The good news is it's not that cold. Anybody want to take bets on when I clobber the first parking block and take my front end off? So this is Q's, and I'm hoping they're not out of business for good. Friday, December 11th through Sunday, December 13th, Q's is closed. Well, you've actually got to be closed to at least the 21st, so looks like they're going to be back open again. Good luck, Q's. You're going to need it. Yeah, well, you know, that was one of the big things with those tariffs that Trump was creating. It really made it difficult for these dollar store places. Of course, that's where all that junk comes from, China. But it'll be a lot easier now. I'm in Michigan, yep. Michigan, on a license plate, it used to say Winter Wonderland, but they quit doing that a while back. This is what it's supposed to be like in December. Snow's really dropping off though, so maybe we're not going to get 10 inches. Everything closed. I just got a notice from Walmart. My Psychiatric medication's ready. Don't need it today. Having fun. If they say we're only getting 5 inches, I may pick it up. If we get 8 inches, I'm going to measure it. You want to visit now, Shaniqua? No. Well, I could get stuck today because I have these tires are at the end of the road. I got my snow tire. I didn't put them on yet because I'm getting the front end rebuilt Monday. But no, this thing never gets. This thing is an absolute tank in the snow. It's all-wheel drive. It's on a full frame, truck frame. But I've got crappy tires on here, so I could get stuck. This snow is not this deep. If we ended up getting much more snow, I probably would just stay home until it got better. But just dinking around here on these local roads, I'm not worried about it. No, but I've never been stuck in this. I pulled a bunch of people out, though, I'll tell you that. Actually, I'm kind of thinking about going out to Montana, maybe over Christmas, back to Havre, where I met Charlie and did the interview, the guy that had the farm. I like to see what it's like out there in the wintertime. Yeah, I could maybe go to Antler, North Dakota, get another nice steak. I like driving in the snow when I'm set up good, you know, good tires, that kind of stuff. But like I said, these tires are at the end of the road. Yeah, I'd say we got about 6 inches. Oh, Antler would be perfect for a commune. You better believe it. I couldn't think of a better place. Boy, in a place like that, you just wonder how you could stay alive out there. I think I'd have finished myself off by now. When I was up in Alaska, I ran into people that would like live in isolated areas. They hadn't seen people in 3 years. One guy he raised these some kind of sheep, and he would only see people like every 3 years. Red Lodge is beautiful. Yeah, big old squirrel. Get out of the way. Yeah, last time I was going to come through Red Lodge heading out of Yellowstone in September, but it was closed because of snow. That Beartooth Pass. That's a neat place out there. Now this would be great. I'd love to be just out in, you know, I would like to be like in a lodge or something where they just got killed with snow. It'd be fun. This lady's been trying to sell this house for 2 years. think I'm gonna get a second coffee today. Snow blower. You know, the problem, well, not a problem. I mean, it is what it is, right? But it's going to get really cold after tomorrow. So all this shit is going to freeze solid. So if you've got a driveway, it would make sense to get this out of there now, because if you wait, you're going to have a real problem. I think it'd be cool. I did go on one Alaskan cruise. I think it'd be cool to like just be on a cruise ship where it was like a blizzard and you were just like out on this ship drinking beer, looking out the window. Oh, private drive, no outlet. Yeah, I wonder where I was going back here. Maybe I'll just show everybody how I can back into a ditch, because I'm too lazy to clean off the back window. If you guys see all sky, that's what I did. I never come back this way. See, they got wire around their bushes so the deer don't eat them away. Texting me, quit doing it. I don't care what it's about. Whoever it is, quit doing it. Hey, M&J, how you doing? I don't know. I can't see them while they're coming up when I got this screen. And there's a filter section that comes up on this phone. And I guess I must have touched it. Or I don't know. Sometimes when the phone's hot, when I'm recording a lot like this, it comes on and I can't see all the messages. Hey Mary, how you doing? You getting any of this snow? This is West Branch, Michigan. Hey, Dolly. Well, I'm gonna sign off here. I'll be on a little bit. A little bit. I'm gonna run Daisy around. I want to try and get some video before the snow melts off the trees in the golf course. Yeah, I was gonna get another coffee, but I thought, I might as well like do this first. And Daisy will like running around the snow, and then I'll do a live probably like in an hour or so if that's okay. So you guys have a good day today. Thank you. I will be back on shortly. Thanks a lot.